Hey, what's up guys? Zach here with RacingSimTools, and today we're gonna do some Donington practice. We have a race with AOR Apex Online Racing, 9 hours at Donington. It's gonna be a really great race for us to kind of practice. Getting a team event under our belt. We do have the SRO GT World Challenge Endurance Race on October, so we're trying to use this race to kind of prep ourselves. We're using the same car as what we're gonna use for SRO GT World American Endurance. Yeah, it's this Saturday, so we're gonna do a little bit of work today. We're gonna kind of work on the setup. The setup is mostly done, but we're just gonna kind of give it a go and see how it feels. We are gonna do a race right now just to get a little bit of feedback in the race environment, and then we also are going to do a wet race here in a little bit, and then we're just gonna kind of tweak the setup, do some changes on the setup, look at RST. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. We did do a few updates these past few weeks to the beta branch. There's a new data stream functionality. Today I got it to where it'll highlight your fastest lap and a few other things. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out RacingSimTools.com, download the beta. But without further ado, let's get into it, guys. And let me know how the volume is, by the way, guys. I've been tweaking the audio. I changed the EQ on my mic to help it with the noise a little bit. It was a little bit too bassy for me. So I did make that change. So just let me know if it's a little too loud or if it's too shrilly or anything like that. Then I'm gonna adjust this cable because this cable drives me insane. Always never know where to like put it, but okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're just gonna go ahead, load the setup. We are starting from the back of the grid today. We're just gonna do the race setup. That's a wet setup that I did. I want to show you guys the new data stream functionality too while we wait. So let me go ahead, switch it over to RST. Let me kind of show you guys the new functionality. So the big thing is the new data streaming functionality. So you can actually come in here, click Stream Explorer after selecting your game. It's going to bring up a window, and you can actually see there's some people actually using it right now. So these are the two rooms that we have right now. I'll go ahead and create a room now, just in case you guys want to kind of follow along and get my data. Be kind of fun. I'm just going to say RST stream, and then the password is just going to be RST, all caps. But we're gonna go ahead and create that. Oh, I can't use a hyphen underneath. We'll just do all one word. RST stream, RST. You'd think I would know all the validation rules considering I coded it, but you'd be surprised. So I'm just gonna leave that for a second so you guys can write it down if you want. But I'm gonna hit create. You can see it went ahead and created the room here, so I can see there's one member in there, which is just me. It's now saying I'm listening to the room. If there was other people here that would get my data. But you guys will get my data as I do the laps. So if you want to join in, just click on this, just enter your password and click join, and you'll be able to get my data as I upload it. But that's it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I do want to show you guys one more cool functionality here, and that is with the new highlight. So you can see here, this is my quickest lap, so I highlighted it green. Just to help you guys give a little bit better visual awareness. This isn't too bad because there's only 3 laps here, but you can imagine if you had like 20 laps, it might be hard to like look through them all. So this is just to help you guys just a little bit. One of the new functionalities too is this logout button. We added this for some people that they're having issues with the autologin.txt and they don't know where to find it. You just click that button, it'll delete the autologin.txt and log you out so you can log back in if you change your password or things like that. What else have we changed? Oh, one other thing that I do want to show you guys is one of the cool new parameters. So I'm gonna go actually click this, and you see at the bottom here the x-axis, it goes 0 to 1,000. That's because it's the game units. So ACC actually just gives a percentage out, 0 to 1,000. So it doesn't really, when you're looking at other data, you don't really know, do I need to break 10 meters earlier or things like that. All you know is 10% or whatever. So we actually added some functionality. This was kind of tricky because we needed to figure out a way to do it so that it wouldn't ruin all the data that Niels has uploaded. We didn't want to invalidate all that. So if you click on track, you'll see there's track distance. By default, it's 1. That way it doesn't mess up if you had older data or you don't know what it is. But if you know the track distance, and you can look this up on Wiki. Usually most of the wikis for the tracks will say like what the length is. You'll just come in here, type in whatever it is. I know Donington's 4,000 meters, 4,020 meters. So I'm just gonna click close that, and now look at this. Now the x-axis is the full length of track. That way, when you're comparing data, you can say, oh, you know, I needed a break, you know, so much earlier or so much later. So it just kind of helps you a little bit. So just some small tweaks that we've done with the data, but hopefully this guys helps you guys a little bit more. I'm just gonna go ahead and load up the next car parameters for this setup, and we're just gonna go ahead and close that out. So let's go ahead, get back into the game. Just wanted to kind of take a second to show you guys those features. We've been working pretty hard to get some of these things in, so hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. If you guys have any ideas for new updates, just let us know. We try to do as many things that you guys want, but just let us know in the Discord, and we'll try to incorporate it. But let's go ahead and load the setup up. Here we go. Get into it. I'm excited for this race. We actually right now are on P5 in the qualifying order. I did a 26.2 on race fuel, qual fuel. Oh man, we watched Snake Eyes like a little bit earlier today. It's a really good movie actually. I really enjoyed it. It was really cool. It was a little bit more than I thought. I don't know. I just didn't really see any trailers for it, but it was pretty sick. AI are starting super slow, but we're gonna actually start in the back of the grid tonight, and hopefully the stream looks okay. Looks like we're maxed out at 60 frames per second. This Honda's a beast though. It's like, oh, there we go, green. Wow, it was like a horrible place for us to go green though, wasn't it? Music up just a little bit. Alright, AI are turned all the way up, so we'll have to see how we do here. Probably make a few passes. So the point of this race is mostly just to get feedback on how the setup feels in race conditions. We're looking at things like tire wear, and you know, does the car become very hard to drive after like, you know, 5-10 laps. So we're hoping to kind of catch those things now before we get into the race, right? Most people, they get into a trap where they just do hot laps, you know, just 1-2 laps at a time, and they kind of miss that feedback. So it's really important to kind of do long runs sometimes. Normally I'll do full stints, so full 60 minutes, but today we're just going to do 30 minutes, and then we're going to jump in and do some wet practice. High chance of rain. So you want to make sure you kind of test that data point. The last thing you want to do is like get caught out. And we just got a warning. That's actually one of the hardest things here at this track, is getting those warnings through the chicane. All right, let's take this inside here. Need to use those buttons more. I have the look to the left and the right buttons program, but I never use them. Oh, he just kind of closed the door a little bit on us. Alright, still waiting. Tire pressures are looking a little bit on the low side. Not too bad though, but just a little bit low. We're gonna take the inside here.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Car is super stable through the trail braking areas. Let me know if the audio, the music's too loud, guys. I like to do it, have music when I'm just practicing like this. But if it's too loud, distracting, just let me know. I'll turn it down. There we go. Super stable through there. Tire pressure is looking good now. Just took a few laps to get in here.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Alright, got a Porsche up next, the 222 Porsche. One of the hardest things about the NSX is the brakes. It's a great car, really stable, really easy to set it up how I like. Transient feels awesome in this car. I just love how it feels here, but the brakes are just really lacking compared to the other cars. It really struggles on the brakes. There's some things you can do, kind of like workarounds for it. We're actually using one of those for this race, so I don't really want to talk about it too much because this is for a competitive team. That being said, it's really frustrating coming from something like the Lamborghini or something where the brakes are really good. Alright, guy ahead did a 130. You can definitely beat that. Alright, let's look at those tire temps. If you guys are wondering, I have a kind of an auxiliary dashboard down here. It tells me tire pressures, temperatures, things like that while I'm driving. Side by side to the chicane, that's probably not the smartest idea. But the rear left tire is getting to 92.5. You typically want to keep the tires under 95 degrees. After 95, they start to really get loose. Some grip drop off. So as long as I can keep it from sliding too bad, it's gonna be really good. This is gonna be the hottest the race is probably gonna be. The race on Saturday, it's a high chance of rain, 40% cloud cover, and it starts I think at 11, and it'll end at night, like at 1 o'clock I think. Or what am I saying? Not 1 o'clock. It's like 11 o'clock I think. I forget what time it is. It ends at 11. I know that. So there'll be a little bit of nighttime, but not too much. So if we can keep that rear left under 95, oh, thought I was gonna rear end him. We're gonna be good. Look at, I love the bottom diffuser. Like that trim looks so cool with the green like that. Love that. All right, we're gonna fight here. Let's take the outside. See if we can cover more speed through here.
Car on the right.
There we go. Come on. Side by side. Nice. Let's go. All right. Pretty good lap around pace for a 28. Had to lift just a little bit. I knew that they were going to be a little bit slower. AI are set to max, but they're still a little bit slow.
Clear on the left.
Oh, I totally missed my braking zone there. They're still a little bit slow in certain situations, especially through the chicane. I don't think we got any damage there, so I was lucky. One thing I got programmed on my button box, guys, are the flashers. So I can click that now, it's gonna flash, which is pretty funny. I love that they added that feature. What do you think, chat? What do you think we'll end up here? We're in P14, started in P24. Only got 18 minutes. No mandatory pit stop. Probably top 10. Not if I make mistakes like that. Keep missing my braking zones. I need to focus down a little bit more. Alright, we gotta catch up to this number 15 Lexus. You guys watched the 24 Hours of Le Mans? That was awesome. I watched the full 24 hours last weekend. Stayed up for the whole thing. I was so tired. I like Wick though, man. It's fun to watch. I'm excited to see all the new hypercars coming in the next few years too. It's gonna be really cool, I think. One of the cool things about the hypercars are the regulations are so restrictive that it allows the manufacturers to be a little bit more stylistic with the cars, like we see with the Protege. No rear wing. It's pretty cool, actually. Definitely not an optimal design from an aerodynamic standpoint, but it still looks really cool. Little stutter there. Not too bad. How's the stream look, chat? Let me know. Hopefully, we've been tweaking a lot of stuff lately, so. All right, we're getting it back in there. Oh, we got a tire loss, pressure in that front left. Really easy to do here at Donington. All right, the music's a little bit on the loud side. Let's turn it down. All right, we're on pace for a 27.8. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. Definitely making up this ground here, guys. Up to P13. What's the traffic behind us? Pretty good gap behind. All right, what did that guy do last lap? He did a 29.3 last lap, chat. 29.3, so we just did a 27.6, so definitely got the pace here. I think this is probably the most challenging corner because it's so easy to go deep there. Gotta be really careful. Got a little bit light on the back there. It kind of trail braked a little bit too hard though. It's all about keeping that weight nice and balanced through that turn. If you try to trail brake, you add a little bit too much trail brake, you just unload the rear too much and it just comes around on you. Track conditions right now are 28 degrees ambient, 36 track. And we are driving with 92 liters of fuel. So I'm doing a full fuel load stint. Again, we're trying to see how the tire wear is. Very, very important to keep the setup evolution in mind, guys. Think about how the tires getting worn. You know, how's the balance shifting as the thing goes on. A lot of people, they don't take that into account and catch them out in a race. We'll often sometimes make compromises in ultimate lap pace if it helps us with the tire wear. So even though it's a little bit slower, you end up becoming quicker over the full stint. And you can definitely analyze that in RST by looking at lap time average and standard deviation, which is why we added it in there. All right, taking the inside here. Oh, he's a little nervous there. He backed out. All right, guys. Next victim is going to be P12, number 90 Mercedes. Let's see what they did last lap when I get on the straight here. So they did a 29.5 last lap. So AI is pretty considerably slower here than we are. We're pretty much averaging a low, high 27, 28 flat here. Probably gonna get a warning for that. No time gained. Whew, thank God. That livery is cool in front of us. I like it. I like all the new liveries that they've been adding to the game are sick. I love them. It's a panda, dude. That's so cool. All right, lost a little bit of time on the exit there. Man, I am not doing so hot. Usually way more consistent than this. We are going to be streaming the race Saturday, full 9 hours. So come and say hello if you guys aren't doing too much on Saturday.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
Alright, he did a 29.4 last lap. Love that turn. When you get it right, it feels awesome. Pretty good gap behind. Getting the dampeners right there really helps in that final chicane. Alright, we're gonna see the inside.
Clear on the left.
Nice. Let's get it done. Let's go, chat. Alright, guys, we got the two Astons in front of us now. Same livery. Kind of cool. Even though the AI in ACC aren't super fast, even when they're turned all the way up like they are now, they are fun. They are easy to race. They don't try to kill you like Project Cars 2. Alright, we did a 28 last lap. This guy's doing a 29.3. Got 10 minutes to go in this race. 10 minutes to go. Oh, he's so slow at the apex. We're gonna take the inside though. Ooh, that was close. We almost came together. A little slidey there. Been redoing my button box down here to look like the Porsche RSR. That was a good run there. We've got 9 minutes, so a little bit under halfway here. Then we'll look at the tire wear and see how it does. General feedback, this car feels good. I do make a little bit of mistakes, and you can definitely get the rear to step out if you do make a mistake. But I do like that. It helps me identify where the limit is. I hate a car that just stays under the limit and pushes a little bit too much. I like a car that's a little bit dangerous is if I am being too greedy. Makes you quick too. Alright, let's see if we can get around this guy. That rear left's 93.9, so it's right on that limit of being over 10. Oh, we're gonna get him here. Or is he gonna stay outside? Okay, we're gonna go inside then.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Ooh, it totally just locked up on me there. Probably try to cover a little too much speed. Again, these brakes on this car are just abysmal. They so AOR for this race, they only gave 10 kilograms to the Porsche. So all the top teams are Porsches except us. Out of the top 5, 4 of them are Porsches. We're the one that's not in the Honda. So I would imagine a lot of Porsches on Saturday. Definitely can feel in the grip. Kind of a little bit falling off, but not too bad on that rear left. It's just a little bit more slidey than normal, but it's very manageable. I would imagine that when we look at the data afterwards, the rear left tire is going to be worn pretty good compared to the rest of the car. We are in the top 10 though, right now. Started P24, so that was definitely our goal. Right ahead did a 29.0 last lap, 29.0. Alright, he's gonna keep this door open. We're gonna go down in. Gotta give him a little bit of space on the exit there, huh? Alright, guy ahead did a 29 flat last lap as well. Just did a 27.6. Oh, he's on the inside.
Clear on the right.
Whew. That's a dangerous place for him to put his nose. A little pressure loss on that front left. Then we have to be something we're watching in the race. Very easy to do at this track. Get warnings at the chicane and get tire loss on the curbs. I love the flow. Oh, we got on that curve just a little bit too much. I was gonna say I like the flow of this track. Oh, he's on the inside. Oh, nice. My sim hub just died. Has anyone in the chat had that before, where your sim hub just like dies on you? Both my dash and my other one just died because the sim hub. Hey, what's up, A2 Grub? How's it going, bud? Yeah, I've been thinking about getting a butt kicker actually. Do you have one? Alright, one second. I'm gonna restart Sim Hub, guys. This is driving me insane. I have no dash when it crashes on me like that. Let me just restart it real quick. Okay, there we go. Alright. This is a horrible place to pause. Alright, get back on it. I won't be able to do that on Saturday, so I gotta figure out what's causing that. Alright, got 4 minutes here. Let's get that position back now. So fuel usage is about 2.4 liters a lap. So it's probably gonna be right around 110 liters for Saturday, first stint. There is going to be 3 of us on Saturday, so 3 hours each. I'd imagine Speed Team is going to take the opening stint. I'll probably have somewhere in the middle. That front left tire pressure is definitely coming down. But as this thing goes on, that rear left's cooling down. It's only 92 degrees right now. Look at that plane landing, it's cool. Little touches go a long way, you know? A lot of cars right up here though, if we can just find the time here. Yeah, that corner that we just passed is what just destroys that rear left. It's a long, sweeping, high-load turn, and then you get on the power. Oh, nice. Hey, 1 second, let me, AJ Grub says, yes, it works great. I can feel on the track where the tires lose the grip and can feel the bumps. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I used to have a motion rig, and that was really, really immersive. But it didn't really allow me to be like consistent because it was like tossing me around, you know. But I definitely would like to look into getting a butt kicker or something. What butt kicker do you have? Is there like a certain brand that's like better to have, or I honestly haven't really looked into it too much. I know the RC rig that I'm in, it does support it though. It has like a little attachment you can buy and mount it to it. I did that 29-1 last lap. Sheesh. Oh, butt kicker? Okay. I didn't, isn't there like with butt kicker you can get like a different amp or something like that though? Like I did look at it once and it looked like you needed more than just like the actual butt kicker. If I remember right, you need like a sound amp or something. Is that true, or is the butt kicker all you need? Okay, we're going inside.
On the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left.
All right, he's still there, but he's kind of behind us here. I'm gonna have to stay a little bit wide. I can't just close the door on him.
Clear on the left.
Ooh, little contact, little contact.
Car on the left.
Woo. Code brown, code brown. Okay.
On the left. Car on the right.
Oh my God, he's making me nervous. I didn't take the line that I normally would take there because it looked like he was like ducking on the inside. Crap, that was probably coming up to the last lap too. All right, I'm gonna go up on the brake bias one. It feels like the rears are just wearing down more than the front. Causing me a little bit of an issue here. So when you're in a race and you feel that balance shifting, definitely don't be afraid to move the brake bias up, you know? As you wear the tires at different rates from one another, the balance could shift just a little bit. Are we gonna get one more lap? It's gonna be sad if we end up just outside the top 10. Oh, that was nice. That was nice. I feel like I'm a little bit too far back to send it. Oh, we're gonna send it.
Clear on the left.
Nice.
Leader has finished already.
All right, last lap. Let's go. He's still here though. Little lock there. Cover the inside though. Nice. Let's go. Top 10. Not too bad from starting in the back. I will take that. All right, let's do something. Let's look at the data real quick. Oh, you need the SimHub software. Okay. Well, if that's all you need, that's not too bad at all. That's pretty cost effective actually to get some type of tactile feedback. But let's exit here, guys. Let's go look at the tire wear. That was the whole point of us doing this exercise. Well, one, to get practice, right? I obviously need it. But secondly, to look at the tire wear. I just want to show off this livery that we have here real quick, guys. I know we're gonna look at the tire wear and look at the data, but man, look at this livery that Flag has made us. So this is the official RSeat eSports team black livery. It looks absolutely amazing on this car though. Love that like black kind of web look to it, and the RST logo on the back. This looks so slick. All right, let's go ahead, look at the data. I just wanted to show that off just a little bit. So we're gonna return to the garage. Let's look at the tire wear here. So some of the things that I'm looking at tire wear, guys, is obviously we're going to have wear as time goes on. And there's two things that you really need to be cognizant of. One is what's the total tire wear, right? The stiffer the setup, the more you might be kind of pushing the tire into the road, which means you might be wearing it a little bit more. But also, more importantly than overall tire wear is what's the balance, right? What are the tires wearing evenly on the front versus the rear? Usually if the tires are wearing faster on one side versus the other, that's going to limit the grip on that axle, right? So if the rears are wearing down faster, it means you're going to have oversteer as time goes on. Front's opposite, you're going to have understeer as time goes on. And that's the whole point of a setup evolution, is to try to minimize that, right? If you're a driver and the balance of the car is changing over the stint, it's hard to push that car to the limit every time because you're constantly having to readjust where that limit is, right? It's kind of a moving target. Whereas if you keep that setup consistent, you keep the tire wear front and rear pretty even, it's gonna be a lot easier to know exactly where that limit is lap after lap. So that's kind of the goal of looking at these tire wears, is try to limit that unevenness of tire wear. And then sometimes too, I look at the inside versus the outside. Sometimes that can be a good indication of, you know, camber. It's not the best, but it is a good indication. So just taking the inside minus the out. So looking at this, kind of my criteria, and this could be different for everyone. This is just kind of what my take on it is I try to keep the front and the rear within like point 0.2 basically, 0.1, 0.2. That's about the Goldilocks zone. If you get outside like 0.2, that's when you start to really notice a shift in the balance as time goes on. So we don't have any graining, no blistering, things like that, so that looks good. The most worn tire is going to be this rear left tire, which makes sense, right? That was the tire that we had the most temperature on. We were getting up to like 94 degrees Celsius, and the max temp we would want to see is 95, so we're definitely getting up there. If we were to go over 95, we would still have a decent amount of grip, but what would happen is we would wear the tire even faster. Typically, as you get on the high side of the tire grip curve, you don't really have that much loss compared to under temperature, but you do have accelerated wear, so that's just something to be on the lookout for. So that could explain why the rear left's a little bit more worn. It's also, we're more right hand turn, so obviously more load on the left hand side of the car, and then we're trying to use the rear to not only turn but also to drive the car, so it's no wonder that this tire is getting hammered. But it's within 0.2 at the front, so the balance felt really good there. Let's look at the inside of the outside. Inside the outside 7 on that rear left. Here it's 6, so that's a pretty even distribution. So the camber, in my opinion, is pretty good. Same thing on the right side. Right side's a little bit less, 0.04 and 0.06. So we could probably actually take out a little bit of camber on the right hand side, but I'm not going to do that. I like keeping it symmetrical. Some people will go asymmetric, but I think with the setup with this car right now, it feels really good, so I don't really want to make tweaks with there. Let's look at the setup though. Let's look at the data. I am curious about something. So again, with the new update, guys, oh, you guys can't see it because my webcam's in the way. Let me hide that real quick. With the new update, you can it'll actually highlight the fastest lap. So here, this 27.6 was my fastest lap in this full stint. That was lap 6. So if I click that, this makes it a little bit easier. Again, visual awareness, trying to help you guys with just little things like this. One thing I want to look at though is I want to look at the lockup on the front, and then the first lap. Now I'm gonna need to set the car. Oh, it's already set. And I want to look at the end. And the reason why is this lap this part of the turn right here. If I click on it, it'll zoom to it. I felt like the car was getting more oversteer as time went on, and it was getting just a little bit harder to predict. So I just want to see what the lockup is on the front versus or the lap 3 versus like the last lap. I want to see if we have significant more lockup on the rear. And it looks like, let's see, rear is green and yellow. Yeah, so it definitely is a little bit more lockup here on this turn. Let's see here too, because this was another big plus that I felt it. This one's not as noticeable, but this one definitely is. So if we look at this data real quick, this is the turn that I was definitely feeling it. So you can see this yellow line here, which is the rear right. So that one's not as important. This green one's definitely the important one though. And you can see here the red is the let's see. The red is the like the beginning of the stint, and the green is the end of the stint. And you can see this green line is pretty consistently on top of it. That just tells me as time goes on, I probably need to adjust that brake bias forward just a little bit. Let's look at some of these other laps. Yeah, it's not too bad, but you can definitely see it's just a little bit more over time. So it's probably going to move that brake bias forward a click, which is kind of rare. Usually you move it backwards, but this because we're wearing the rears a little bit faster, I probably need to make that adjustment. One thing I do want to check too is I want to look at the tire pressure loss. Remember when we ended the stint, that front left tire was down to like 26.5. Let's see how many curb tricks I got there. So if I go to run and click on ABS C's and P's, it's actually going to give me like a run graph here, and you can see the top is the temperature and the bottom here is the pressure. So you're looking for big discontinuous like jumps in the pressure. That's going to be a curb strike. So you can see here this was definitely a curb strike here, and then probably right here was a small one. So this was a big curb strike, and then obviously this is a small one. I bet this one was when we went wide at that chicane. It says it's lap, what is that, 12? Or lap 13. Yeah, that was the one where we went off track. So we remember we went through the chicane and we lost it there. The tire pressure loss was there. But actually, one curb strike's not too bad, so I'm actually not too worried about the pressures. With this tire model being the newer tire model, or sorry, the older one, we probably want to be a little bit higher than 27.5. Probably want to be running around 27.7, 27.8. Might bump up the pressures just a little bit, but overall not too bad. One thing that we did want to look at is the screen rear left tire. The temperature up top, again, we want to keep that temperature below 95, and you can see pretty much the whole time it was just right kissed up above it. So we never went above 95, so that's good. And it's probably nothing I could have done if we did, because I'm already at max rear brake duct anyways. So it's pretty much capped out anyways. One thing I do want to show you guys though, is just because I'm kind of curious now that I have it up right now, is the roll gradient evo. So a lot of you're probably like, what does RG evo stand for? And what it stands for is roll gradient evo. And what it really is so you guys all seen the let me turn this back on too, because I'm doing hand gestures that you guys can't see. So you guys are all pretty aware of the pitch and roll gradients, right? And the pitch and roll gradient, all it is measuring the amount of roll in the car per degree of G. Per G force pulled. So it's just a good way to understand what's the stiffness of the car, and then if you compare the front and the rear, you can really get a sense of what's the lateral stiffness distribution, so you can start to make mental pictures of what the magic number is. And this is really cool because it tells it to you, but you have to think as we burn fuel out, and it depends where your fuel tank is, but for here, let's just say it's at the rear. As we burn fuel, that the sprung mass on the rear is going to be less, so the rear is actually going to rise up a little bit, right? There's not as much weight holding it down, so the rear is going to come up just a little bit, and that's going to affect the lateral stiffness distribution, because now we're going to have more rake, and we're reducing the sprung mass just a little bit on that rear. So sometimes looking at it for one lap is good, just to get a general consistency of where the setup is, but sometimes if you're curious about setup evolution, you want to graph it over mini laps. So that's what we've added to run RG Evo, and this is the graph, and it's kind of weird. Probably you guys are probably like, what is this actually showing me? And you guys can't see it because my cam again. I need to figure out a better cam situation for when I'm showing the data. Maybe I just won't show it. But you can see here, lap 0, there's a pretty big rise, right? And then there's a slow rise as the sync goes on. So let's talk about this real quick. This steep rise right here is as the tire pressure is coming into the car. The tire pressure actually affects the roll gradient. Basically, as the tire pressure comes up, it's actually adding spring rate to the car. So that's why the roll gradient is changing as time goes on. But if you kind of take out those factors, so what I like to do is just delete the first like 2 laps, because that's where the tire pressures are really starting to come up. So you can see if we look at lap 1, you can see it's kind of got a rise. So the thing that I'm looking for here is what's the slope of this line. Basically, this is telling me how the mechanical balance is shifting as the sync goes on. And you can see this is a rising trend, right? Like if you, even without this sharp rise right here, if you were to draw a line at this point, it would be going up, right? The line would be going up. And what that means is that the rear roll gradient is going up, which means it's becoming a little less stiff as time goes on. So this is an example of something that's kind of ideal. What it means is the rear roll gradient is going up, so the rear is losing stiffness. So we're going to have more load transfer on the front, essentially. The distribution is moving forward, and that means the car's going to understeer a little bit more. But because we're wearing the rear tires, we have less grip on the rear tires. So they're kind of balancing each other out, right? We're having more load transfer on the front, which is going to push us, but we have more wear on the rear tires, which is just going to add more oversteer. So they're going to kind of balance out one another. Where you don't want to be, and some cars are like this, is this roll gradient evolution will have a negative slope. So the rear will be becoming more stiff as time goes on. And that's really bad, because what that means is if this slope goes down and the rear roll gradient's getting stiffer as time goes on, it means you're going to have more wear, more oversteer as it goes on. So it's the mechanical bounce is moving rearward. the rear is getting stiffer essentially, more load transfer on the rear, and then the combat that you have more rear tire wear in most cases, so you're going to pick up a lot more oversteer as time goes on. So changing the balance of the car and the setup of the car so that you get this positive slope here is kind of ideal. So this is looking good. Really happy with this setup. Let's delete this lap real quick. Lap 1. I want to see just all running laps here, and look at what our lap time average was here. So if I come to lap time average is 128.993. So that's a little bit slow, but I was in traffic a little bit, and we did have that off track there. So I would imagine if it wasn't for those, we'd probably be looking at this data probably low 28s. But the big thing is the standard deviation is like around 0.5. That's when you're in traffic, it's obviously going to go up. If you're doing hot laps, you can obviously get a standard deviation like 0.1, 0.2. In this case, it's a little bit higher, but it's because we were in traffic, which can affect that. One thing I do want to check is, while we're here, is what is the fuel usage in traffic, right? It looked like we were burning right around 2.4, 2.5. So if I got a fuel here, it'll actually figure out the fuel burn rate and the fuel level. And then our stints on Friday will be it's a minute 5, but let's just do a little bit of a buffer here. So it's going to be like 105, 110 liters of fuel, which is pretty much what we thought, because that's what we're running with right now. Looking at the total grip too. So total grip's going to tell me, you know, how's the grip of the car changing over time. So this is another thing that I'm going to be looking at when we're talking about this whatchamacallit, the setup evolution. So you can obviously, we're losing grip as time goes on, right? There's a decrease in the slope here. Again, those tires are wearing down, so we're losing grip. But we don't have a drop off here, so that's really, really good. So I'm pretty happy with this setup, guys. Other than the data that we see here, and if you guys have any questions about anything that I was talking about when I was going over that, let me know. But honestly, the data is looking really good. Car feels really, really good. Only note that I'll have is maybe a little bit higher tire pressures, and then maybe a little bit farther brake bias as the stint goes on. At the beginning of the stint looks really good. Probably a click or two, you know, midway through the stint. But let's go ahead. So this race is looking like it's going to have rain, so we want to make sure we test that point. So let's go ahead. We're going to back out of here. Let's just quit out, and we're going to do the exact same race, but this time we're going to do it with rain. So we're just going to exit out here, come into here, and we're just going to do medium rain. Oh no. Oh, I got to look at the settings now. 1 sec. I forget what they said that the race could be. Let me just pull up the handy dandy link. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. I know sometimes I go kind of quick, just because I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done, but I want to make sure you guys are understanding everything that's kind of going through my head and what I'm looking at. Let's see. What is the ambient temperature? Race conditions Sunday, 2 o'clock in game time, 25 degrees ambient. Cloud 4. Okay. So just 25, and then wetness, I'll just say like 30%. Okay, random weather, cloud cover. Okay, this should be pretty close. All right, let's get in there. No idea on the tire pressures though. We did do a race of the day, but it was like 20C. If this is, yeah, this is hot. Okay, what we're gonna need to do actually is quit out of here, and actually need to just do a few laps just to get the tire pressures. I want to make sure the tire pressures are spot on before doing like a practice race. So let's just do that real quick. Oh, it's not even raining right now. What the hell? What do I gotta change to get it to start raining? Optimum wetness 30, standing water 15, random weather. Oh, how do I get this to? Oh, you had to go higher. Okay. I'm just gonna do this. Screw it. Let's just do. I wish I could change. I wish I could do medium rain, but then change the temperature. Can I do this? Oh, actually, we could just do this. 20. Sorry, guys. I'm like setting illiterate sometimes. 20. Okay, 30. 27. 70 and 27. Okay. And that is going to be essentially medium rain, but at 25C. Okay, let's try that. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, so let's load this up. It's still not raining, is it? Why is it not raining? That's so weird. All right. Do you guys know how you can get it to rain when you load in? Other than just clicking medium rain? I have the exact same settings. Oh, what is going on? 40. Oh, it like, what the hell? It like remove my settings. We're just gonna do medium rain. Screw it. This is taking way more time than I want. Ah, okay, there we go. So it is a little bit cooler. Okay, so this is actually the same tire, the pressures that I was set up for before. So we'll just use that. You guys are about to see my cat jump. Oh, you can probably see her. She wants to jump up there so bad. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna take like a little bit out of here. Okay, let's do it. Race wet. So this is the exact same setup, just on wet tires essentially. Alright, let's turn those wipers on. And we are streaming this data, guys, on the RST data stream functionality. Room name is RST stream, and then it's password is all caps RST if you want to jump in and look at my data. Kind of cool that I can do that now. Pretty neat. I like it. Okay, let's turn these green lights on too. Man, I love having the button board down here. It's so slick. So slick. Hey, what's up, the Giant? How's it going, man? Hope you're having a good hump day.
Green light,
Oh man, I hate that I'm like right here when it comes on. The Giant said, I have my first league race in a few days. Been practicing for a week and seemed to have last time sort of the top of the field. It's going to be 90-minute race at Donington, multi-calls, GT3 and GT4. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, the big thing with Donington, man, is just make sure you're being like a little cautious on the final chicane, right? It's very easy to pick up track warnings there. And I just want to be on a little bit on the safe side. Is it gonna? What's the conditions gonna be, the Giant? Is it gonna be in the dry, or is there a chance of rain like this race is gonna be? So it's a little floaty, through that first sector. Not bad, but it's a little noticeable. Jeez, they're going so slow through here. How's the stream, by the way, right now, guys? Is it choppy? Hopefully not.
car on the left.
Alright, let's take the inside here. In the traction control. Come on, let's go.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the
Very
left.
slippery out here. Well, little door banger there. Completely dry at the end, but the race will get dark. Okay, yeah, just in that case, you should be good from a setup point, man. Is there any issues or anything you're having? Like I said, the big thing with Donington is two things, really. Got to be careful not to get too many curb strikes. Tire pressure can be an issue here. If you get too many curb strikes, you're going to find yourself really low tire pressures. And then the other thing is
Clear on the left.
the final chicane,
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
making sure you don't get too many warnings. Really easy to get a drive-through here. Other than that, I think you should be good, man, unless you have any issues with the setup that you're curious about. You gotta be really careful in the wet here, man. It's so easy to get loose on these curbs. So much of those AstroTurf just kills you. Setup feels pretty good now that the tire pressure are coming in. Tire pressure a little bit high right now, a little bit high. 32 on the rear. Temperature's looking okay though. Hopefully I think the pressures will come down just a little bit as this thing goes on. Wets you typically want to be right around 31 psi. That's a little bit high at 32. But a lot of people don't know this. Tire pressures usually go up above your target and then they'll come down just a little bit. So if you see after the first few stints it's a little bit high, it's okay. Usually will come down a little bit. Oh man, that guy behind me is making me so nervous. He's getting so close to me. Car feels pretty good though. No complaints. A little bit floaty here, I would say though, but it's really not bad. You just got to be a little bit more smooth and stay off the curves here. That's right. Yeah. Just need to work on some entries at turn 3. The chicane and the hairpin. Yeah, the hairpin's a killer, man, especially in this car because the brakes are so bad. It's so easy to lock up through there. Going downhill, it's a little bit more prone to lock up, right? Yeah, if you need any data, man, just let me know. I have some data that you can use if you want to compare yourself. What lap times are you doing, and in what conditions? We did with this setup, we on the quals trim, we did a 26.2 in 23C, and then we've been doing the race setup. We're doing my quickest lap was a 27.3, and that was at 28C. Hey, what's up, Blue? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight? We're just driving, practicing in the wet for the Donington 9 hours for AOR's race this Saturday. We did a dry setup. We were just testing it just to make sure. Now we're doing the wet because it's probably gonna rain. I want to see how the car feels in the rain here. See, the car ahead did a 36.7 last time, so we did 36.8. We're so pretty much keeping pace with these guys in the wet. I don't know if that's an AI thing or maybe I'm just slower in the wet. Yep, classic British weather. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good chance of rain on Saturday. I mean, it's probably going to be mixed conditions, you know. I'm really hoping that we have a few dry laps so that the delta is really quick for the chicane. And then it rains, right? So then I don't have to worry about getting a drive-through. But we'll see. Right now we're in P5 for the AOR 9 hours of Donington this Saturday. So hopefully we have a good chance of having a good result. So for those of you that are new to the stream, chat, what we're trying to do is just get some practice for this 9-hour race for the SRO GT World Challenge America Endurance Series. The first race is at Bathurst in October. We are driving the NSX, so we're just trying to get, it's our first team race, so we just want to try to get a little bit of practice as a team, you know, see if there's any adjustments we need to make in terms of our communication styles, things like that. And then obviously just get some more test points for the NSX and an endurance race to see if there's anything to kind of be considering for the race at Bathurst. All right, let me get through this little part of the Giant. This is the sketchiest part in this car. It's not too bad, but it's definitely... That went a little sketchy. Trent said, I'm in the Porsche, so in the dry, doing 28 slows, but if I fix those corners, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let me send you my data, man. We're doing 27 fives in the NSX. So I don't know, maybe you can look at, maybe there's some things that you can see that improve, but send me a message on the Discord. Just tag me in one of the channels and I'll send you one of our lap files. Or you could just, well, not anymore because it's in the wet, but I was gonna say you could just connect to the broadcast that I'm streaming to right now and get the data that I'm getting here, but we're not driving in the dry anymore. See if we can, car ahead did a 36 flat last lap. So we're on pace for a 35.9 here. Yeah, that was actually one of the main reasons we went with the NSX, Luke. So for those of you who don't know, the races are going to be Monza, Bathurst, and Laguna Seca, all pretty good tracks for the Honda. So that's kind of our main thinking of why we went with the Honda, but we'll have to see. Though I really like this car. The transient, the way it feels, the corner entry feels really, really good. My only gripe about this car is just the brakes. There's some things you can do to help with the brakes, but they're kind of workaround. They're just not the best brakes. They're very prone to lockup, so you have to kind of go higher ABS, and then in some conditions, in some tracks, the ABS activation kills your braking distance, so it's just not fun, basically. But other than that, the car's awesome. And we are making progress up here on the cars ahead. We're on try to do a 35.5 this lap. He did a 35.9 here, so 4/10 quicker if we can get it done here. This is a kind of a dumb thing to be really bragging about the NSX, but I really like the NSX's dash too, like the dash screen that you see in the car. So I have a dash. I don't know if you can see it here. You can see the LED is kind of lighting up here. It looks really, really good with the NSX dash. It just really plays well to a sim dash. So it's one of my favorite cars to drive in that regard. Oh, yeah, Giant, if you're on PS4, man, there's not really much you can do there. That kind of sucks. Gotta get on PC, man. How is ACC on the PS4? I heard it had kind of a rough launch at the start. I think a few people that did the reviews, they had access to the PC version, so that's like what they were comparing it to. All right, he did 35.8. We did a 35.1. Let's go. Let's go, chat. Who's ready for the announcement tomorrow, chat? What do you guys think they're gonna announce? My bet is either, what I'm hoping for is the America DLC, but what I think might happen is like a mobile game announcement or something. Yeah, I think it'll be a new game announcement because it's at Gamescom. If it was just like a DLC, I don't think it would be at a game convention. Usually at game conventions, they're new games being announced. So I could either see like the mobile game or maybe AC2. Maybe like a sneak peek at AC2, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I swear, if it's the AC mobile game, I'm gonna cry, dude. Like, for real, who is asking for a mobile game out there? Like, you know, Slightly Mad Studios did the mobile game thing too, and I thought that was weird, but I was like, okay, like maybe. But that game, I tried it the other day. That game sucks. And now, you know, Kunos is putting time into developing a mobile game. Like, who the hell is wanting a mobile game? I just don't get it. I did see that, Luke, and that kind of gave me hope. I was trying to see, so I don't know if you guys, the announcement poster had like the Lamborghini, and then like it also had like it looked like it was on a track. I was trying to see if I could look at the track to see if I could like see if it was any of the America, and I feel like I really couldn't really like identify Kern as a pretty generic Kern. But it kind of looked like a Coda turn, like the hairpin at Coda. It kind of looked like that a little bit. So I'm hoping maybe, but we'll see. I mean, can you imagine if we had the America tracks? Like, oh my God, like, oh man, VIR, oh, so good. Shareholders, yeah. But I don't think it would do that good. I mean, how much money do you think they would raise with a mobile game? Like, I mean, a mobile game is typically what is microtransactions. Like, that's your only thing. And let's be for real. Like, if you are okay with microtransactions, Real Racing 3 is probably arguably the best mobile game out there. And it's been in the game for a while. So most people are invested by now, you know?
We're halfway through game machine.
We'll see, though. We'll see. We can be hopeful that we'll get the DLC, though. This game is so good, though. Like, it's just fun to drive. I know in the beginning it wasn't my favorite. I bashed it in some ways. And also, I griped that it doesn't have all the data that we get with some of the games. You know, like, you don't get live service temperatures and stuff like that. But the driving experience, the actual raw driving immersion is just unmatched. It's so much fun. Oh, I missed my braking zone. Don't die, don't die, don't die. All right, not dead. Whew. Oh, dude, can you imagine like if people started doing like a Petit Le Mans? Is Atlanta on the America calendar? I can't remember if it is. I forget like what. So like it gets fuzzy for me because for like America series, I usually watch IMSA, and obviously that they run different tracks than they run some of the same tracks as, you know, GT World Challenge, but also some that are different. So I always forget which one's which. Dude, that would be, oh my god. If we could run Petit Le Mans, though, that would be so good. So good. Or Sebring. I don't think Sebring is, but oh my god, that'd be fun. Mosport. I've actually never driven Mosport. Like, what's the most like cool thing about Mosport? And Giant said, I've never tried it on PC, but sometimes I'll stutter a bit. At the start of the race, my PS4 always sounds like a fighter jet. There's really no difference. Yeah. Yeah, well, I remember when they announced that they were gonna release the game on the PS4. That's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, this. I would think like the graphic requirements would be a little bit too high, but they did it, and I know like some people really like it, you know. The really cool thing about developing for consoles is you have a set piece of hardware that you're developing a game for. This is a little bit different because it was a PC game ported to console. But most games that are made for a console end up actually performing really good because you can really, you can write code to optimize things at the hardware level, right? So you can get really good performance and kind of push it outside of what you could with like a PC. I haven't looked at the tire pressures in a while. Yeah, tire pressures are definitely high, 32.5 on the rear. So kind of goofed that one up. Probably should have adjusted that, but honestly, even with the high tire pressures, the car feels really good. I'm not really making any time on these guys. He did a 36.0 last lap. I did a 35.7, so we are a little bit of time, but not too much. But it's easy to drive. That was, as I missed the braking point. No, it's easy to drive. That was the main thing that I wanted to test here. I just want to make sure our race setup just wasn't like absolute garbage in the rain. Our dry setup did have lower cambers. Because we actually wanted a better traction exit, so lower camber is going to help you get a little bit better longitudinal grip, which can help you sometimes in these straight line braking and some of the corner exits, right? You get more grip. So we did that, and usually that is a little bit better for a wet setup. Usually you want to run a little lower cambers on the wet tires versus the dry tires. So it makes sense that the setup would be okay in the wet, but I just wanted to test it to make sure. We've set amazing tracks full of really nice, fast, undulating corners. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, if they come out with it, I'll definitely try it. I'm kind of getting, like, not bored, but we need new tracks, man. Like, this track was part of the British GT World Challenge, right? But the other two tracks, Cadwell and Snitterton, like, I don't really feel like most people drive them, you know? Like, they just feel like, I don't know, I haven't really driven them that much. Oh, Giant posted it. What an MVP, chat. What an MVP. Okay, one second. Let me get on the Giant and I'll read it out. All right. Giant said, for the 2021 GT America, calendar is Sonoma, Coda, Virginia International, Road America. Oh, Watkins Glen and Sebring. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Sebring and Watkins Glen. I don't even know if I've driven the Indy road course. I don't even know what that one is. But dude, Sebring and Watkins Glen. Road America would be sick too. Yeah, I don't see Atlanta on there though. That kind of sucks. Sonoma would be pretty crazy though. Really, all those tracks are pretty good. I really like those tracks. Sebring would be fun though. I really like Sebring. So bumpy though. Holy shit! Can you imagine the cars in ACC how like pitch sensitive they are with the bumps? Oh my God, that's scary. Just thinking about it. No, we are closing this gap just a little, but I don't know. Like we're slowly closing it. He did a 35.1 last lap, so he's picking up some pace here too. He's in the Porsche too. Porsche is gonna have a little bit better time in the wet, to be honest. That weight distribution on the Porsche helps it in the wet. The other two tracks are Olton and Cadwell. Isn't in there. I wish it was. Amazing product cars too. Yeah, I just haven't really driven them, honestly. Like, it just feels like most people don't want to drive them. I haven't done any endurance races or anything on them. They're just hard because they're so small, right? Like, it's hard to get a good big grid at those two tracks, I feel like. Oh, I forgot I had music on. Alright, we're right here. Let's see if we can get it done. 5 minutes to go. Yeah, tire pressures are starting to come back down now. 32, pretty much 32.0. Nice. Let's go. That's the thing, like when you're not racing the AI, like this track is very track position sensitive. It's very hard to make moves in like a lot of places. I remember when we were doing SROs, it's so hard to get around people. Car behind me is picking up pace here though. It's right on my tail. Nice. Yeah, maybe it got off the calendar because of COVID, Luke. Yeah, because of COVID. Yeah, dude, Atlanta would be awesome. I haven't really done Atlanta. I have driven it once for Petit Le Mans in iRacing, but that was it. Oh, my pad's about to die. My iPad. Well, it's weird. It must not be charging. We'll see off the curb. Stay off the curb. I need some copium there. Every time I touch the curbs, I need copium. So sketch. Oh. We're up. We're green, boys. 2:10, almost 3. 3 minutes left. Let's see if we can get another position here. You definitely don't have as many pressure drops or curb strikes in the rain either, which is nice. Oh, nice. Toronto. There's actually 3 of the guys on the RSeat eSports team are from Canada. I didn't realize Canada had such like a motorsports following. It's pretty cool. Dang, dude, that would be. I want to go to an IMSA race really bad. I'm not 100% positive, but I would really like to go to the Daytona 24-hour this year. If they have like the full event, like that would be a lot of fun. I had a friend that went, and he said it's awesome because like you can basically walk up into the garages almost. Like they have like the fan access at those events are really good. He said, be really cool. He was saying that he was like, it was like 1 in the morning, and he was like watching the mechanics work on a car, and like a mechanic came from the back of the crowd, was like move, 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 and had like a stack of like gears in his hand that they needed to install. I was like, damn, that's crazy. That'd be so cool. Yeah, the Daytona 24 would be so sick. So sick. Oh no. This Porsche is gonna. Oh, he's coming. Yeah, honestly, Sett's feeling mega, guys. Mega. Even in the rain, it feels good. It's a little, maybe a little floaty, but it's not bad. It's definitely manageable. Definitely manageable. Final lap, here we go, boys. Yeah, I was actually talking about that, Luke. I watched the 24 Hours of Le Mans last weekend. Sorry. I really like the hybrid cars. Like, it's a more limiting class, right? Like, they're definitely way more limited than LMP ones were in previous years. But I kind of like it because it's allowed them, because they know they're going to hit the aero and drag the caps like really easily. It allows them to be more creative with the design of the car. That's why we're getting cars like the Peugeot, like with no rear wing and stuff like that. So I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted because I like more open rigs usually. I like to see people really push the performance envelope, but at the same time, it's kind of cool to see changes made in other areas like design and aesthetics and stuff like that. Just cool. So I really like it. We'll see if it works out though. I know they were really complaining about the BOP at Le Mans and a few other things, so we'll see how it works out for them. Did you guys see that flag guy at the end of the race almost get decked by the LMP2s? Like, he was fighting for position, so he was trying to get around that GT car and literally almost like took out the flag guy. My wife was in the room. I started laughing, and she asked me like what I was laughing. I was like, I bet that guy needed another thing of like some more pants, basically. Yeah, I think what they're really trying to do, Luke, and they said it too on stream, is they're really trying to just make it more accessible, right? Like more the cost, the barrier to entry a little bit lower, right? They want to get more people involved. I think they're tired of like those small grids that they were having for a while. Nice. All right. Well, P18 from P24 is not bad. Definitely setup is a little bit slower in the wet. A little bit floaty, especially right here. It wasn't horrible, but it was definitely noticeable. Yeah, I'm super happy with that, guys. Let's look. Tire pressure was definitely a little bit high. So I want to look at that real quick. Let's take a peek. See what that's about. Switch over to RST. Yeah, I know. 2023 is gonna be sick. There's gonna be so many cars, which is cool. I really do like that. I think it's a good approach. It's definitely healthy for the sport, right? Definitely gonna help over the long run. So my fastest lap. Oh, that was probably like an out lap or something. Let's close that. My fastest lap was my dead last lap, and it was a 34.5. So I bet you what was happening is the track was drying. I bet we were forming a dry line at Simon. So let's look at it real quick. So this red is the dry stint that we were just doing, guys, and this blue is the wet stint that we just did. Look at the grip difference. Like, you know, at the end of the stint, what is that? 1.45 versus 1.3. So almost a full 0.15, which is huge. That's a huge difference in grip. Let's look at the tire pressures. Yeah, so the pressures are a little bit on the high side. So this is the pressures for the wet. And I really want them to be right around 31. And they were pretty much, let's see, what is that? Front tires, rear tires, 32 free. Let's see, and then the 32. Oh, so the rear are pretty balanced. They just need to come down overall like 1.5. So let's go ahead and make that adjustment real quick before I forget. I want to. Oh, you can't check the tire wear either, which kind of sucks. Tire wear looks good though. If these are the wets, 2.8, 2.7, so right around where we would want them to be. We're gonna adjust the tire pressure, so 1.5. So that's gonna be, what's that? 28.7. So 28.3. I'm just gonna pull up the calculator. YOLO. Yeah, 28.2. And then 29.8 minus 1.5 is 28.3. And then 29.5 minus 1.5 is 28. And then 29.9 minus 1.5 is 28.4. So that should give me pretty much that 31 PSI that I'm looking for in the wets. So let's go ahead and save that. All right, let's go back. If there's anything that I really want to look with the data, I mean, the setup felt really good. I'm not really complaining. One thing I am curious about, let's go to the power steering. So you see these two lines, right? The red and the blue. The red, if you look at it, the red is kind of like this line. You can see the blue is a lot steeper. What this is telling you is the yaw rate per degree of angle of steering. So the steeper the line, the more the car rotates, or it's like more responsive, right? The shallower the line, the less responsive. So you can see the car's way more responsive in the wet than the dry here. So just something to be mindful. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was something that was like hard to handle, but it was definitely noticeable. One thing, let's go look at the roll gradient evolution too. I want to see what that looks like in the wet. So yeah, both are going up. So, you know, that's telling us at least from the mechanical balance, the rear is losing stiffness. It's not really losing stiffness, right? We're not changing the springs with the ARB, but we are losing sprung mass, and the ride height's changing, right? So those two things together are basically effectively shifting the lateral stiffness distribution forward, which is good because I'm wearing those rear tires down a little bit more. So that's going to help us balance the change in setup just a little bit. So I'm pretty happy with that, guys. Let's go back to I want to look at just a few of these laps here. Let's just look at the replay just real quick. There we go. Let's see what the chat said. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, ACC, like, I know a lot of people, they've seen that video that says, hey, on the wets, don't stay on the dry line. I don't think ACC fully simulates that to the full. It's pretty much, unless it's super wet, it's typically better to just kind of more or less take the same line, but just stay off the curbs. The curbs will kill you here, absolutely murder you. I'm just looking at the body language of the car, making sure, you know, it looks fairly good. That's the car that I drove in the SRO GT World Challenge for Donington, was the Lamborghini. It actually felt really similar here compared to the NSX. Really similar. You could tell he wanted to close the door on me just a little bit there. Yeah, that was, I mean, that's kind of been my observations too, Luke. That's always the funny thing is like the Kunos devs will always say something and then more or less I'll have to agree with it, you know? Like there's some things that they don't feel like what's being conveyed in some terms. Car looks awesome. I mean, you can just look at the body language and tell it feels good in the wet. Great looking car too. Love the livery on this thing. Looks so slick. Yeah, same Luke, same. I'm very evidence based and I haven't really seen it, to be honest. It'd be hard to test though, to be fair. But I think that's gonna be it, guys. I mean, before we end the stream, is there any questions you guys have, or is there anything that you guys want me to kind of show off before I go ahead and end the stream? Today was just mostly practice and kind of get a little bit more some feedback on the setup. Make sure that we tested the rain. But honestly, I'm super happy with the work that we've been doing over the past few days to get the setup where it is. Wait, have you driven the road car, Luke? Or are you just talking about like how it looks in general? That would be amazing if you got driven it before. One of my friends, they bought a CR8, so I've gotten to driven the fully loaded package for the CR8, and that thing is awesome. That made me really wish I wasn't poor, so I could drive or maybe get like a cheap, used one or something. Oh, okay, gotcha. I was gonna say, man, if you had an NSX, that would be so sick. I remember, so my first job when I was in high school, I actually was I worked at a hardware store, and I'll never forget, this old lady, she brought a full white NSX, like one of the old ones, and it was so clean looking. And she actually loaded up the trunk of it with cement mix, like 80-pound bags of cement mix. It was literally on the bump stops, like sitting in the parking garage. It made me so sad. It was such a good looking car. You could probably tell it was like a car that she just had, and like she probably didn't know what it was. Yeah, true. Very true, Luke. But I think we're gonna go ahead and end it, guys. It's getting kind of late. It's already 9 o'clock my time. I got to get up for work in the morning. I hope you guys enjoy these streams. It's always fun just hanging out and chatting. If you guys have any questions on RST, let me know. Be sure to check out the new beta. I've been trying to do more and more updates these past few days. I'd probably actually jump off, go get on the couch, open a beer, and do some more coding. Right, coding, beer, probably not the smartest mix, but it's enjoyable. But if there's any things that you guys have, is there any functionality, or if you're having any issues with RC, let me know. We always try to get the feedback that you guys have. Let me go ahead and switch to the cam view. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Again, we're doing the actual race on Saturday. It starts pretty early. I'll be sure to start a stream so you guys can check it out if you want. It's always fun hanging out with you guys for the 9 hours. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And I'll catch you guys later. I'm Zach from RC, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.